This is a story about beavers, the largest rodents in North America, and a story about a man named Elmo, a perfectly average-sized human from Idaho. He worked as a warden with the Idaho Department of Fish and Game. Not much is known about his life, who his friends were, what he enjoyed doing on the weekends, or even whether he preferred coffee or tea. But we do know this: Elmo had ideas. The year is 1948, and it's summertime in the lakeshore town of McCall, Idaho, where our story begins. Families are enjoying the sun, the scenic vistas, and the cool breeze, and somewhere high above them, beavers are parachuting from the sky. Yes, this really happened, and no, it wasn't April 1st. This was a government-approved wildlife relocation program. And spoiler, it worked. To understand how we got here, we first need to understand the beaver. Cute and furry, yes, but incredibly prodigious, with ever-growing razor-sharp front teeth and an unwavering propensity to build dams. Dams, dams, dams. The beaver can transform a landscape like no other creature in the animal kingdom. And in the tiny town of McCall, this was precisely the problem. The beavers were becoming a menace, cutting down trees, blocking streams, and risking floods and damage to the town and its inhabitants. The solution? Relocation. The destination? Chamberlain Basin, 100 miles away across the rugged terrain of the Frank Church River of No Return Wilderness. By all accounts, the area was a beaver's paradise, home to towering forests, clear glacial lakes, and cold running water. But there was just one small problem: getting there. Planes couldn't land, trucks couldn't drive, and nobody volunteered to hike up by foot with dozens of beavers in tow. And so, Elmo Heter hatched a plan. What if, he wondered, we don't bring the beavers in, we drop them in? But not just toss from a plane, no. Elmo designed a wooden box with a built-in parachute. Sturdy, functional, absurd. The idea was simple. The plane flies, the box drops, the chute opens, and the beaver lands. And just like that, a new life for the rodents begins. That was the plan, at least. Before any rodents took to the skies, there was testing, and a lot of it. Of course, early wooden box prototypes were met with a predictable flaw. The beavers ate them. But eventually, a more durable design emerged. 2 lidless crates hinged together like a clamshell with a parachute on top. Then there were the test jumps, led by an old male beaver named Geronimo. He jumped and jumped and jumped again. Elmo wrote, "One old male beaver, whom we fondly named Geronimo, was dropped again and again on the flying field. Each time he scrambled out of the box, someone was on hand to pick him up. Poor fellow." Finally, on August 14th, 8 crates of beavers were loaded onto a twin-engine Beechcraft Travel-Air, accompanied by a conservation officer and a pilot. For 4 straight days, beavers took to the sky and sailed back down to Earth.
The plane makes a careful approach, ready for the drop. Now into the air and down they swing, down to the ground near a stream or a lake.
With only one sad and unfortunate casualty: a curious beaver who decided mid-flight to climb on top of his box. Despite this tragic accident, the Idaho Department of Fish and Game considered the Beaver Project a resounding success.
He's on his way now. His nose and his instinct tell him where to find the water.
The beavers got to work immediately, building dams, restoring wetlands, and creating a thriving habitat for the plants, fish, and birds alike. It was an improbable win for all. So if you ever happen to find yourself in central Idaho, wandering through the wilds of the Chamberlain Basin, listen closely for the flick of a tail or a rustle in the brush. You might just catch a glimpse of the descendants of those airborne pioneers.